guys, so I decided to go back to my raw format of I just woke up and I don't care what I look like, I'm going to talk to you. It's going to be a array of information because so much has happened and I just don't feel like making a bunch of small videos, but of course I will make the small videos and I'm going to do my hair and be professional and look good and speak very well for my professional sites. But for the Let Me School You, it's all about you're going to get the information that I charge people like $175 an hour for free, because you can go past like this part of what I look like. A lot of people can't, and they're like, ooh, and then they don't want to watch it. Well, you know, when you finally wake up and see people for who they are, you're going to realize something that I think everybody needs to learn. And sometimes the prettiest people are the ugliest on the inside, and sometimes the ugliest people are the prettiest on the inside. So you have to get to know the person and really understand them before you can actually make that decision, which is why sometimes you see really hot guys with some women that you're like, what? But that woman is so good and pure and attentive and kind and sweet, you know? And the same thing with women. You see them with these guys and you're like, why? Because that guy's paying attention to her, taking care of her, is affectionate, cares about her needs, you know? And it's a lot more than just appearance, because I can tell you from experience, especially recent experience, just because you look good on the outside doesn't mean that you're good on the inside. So, lesson number one. There you go. Basically, I wanted to talk about a lot of things. And there's going to be absolutely no rhyme, reason, or order to this whole entire video. So if that's really going to bother you, you should probably try to find my professional site and pay for my courses. But what I wanted to share with you guys is that I've had a lot of epiphanies and awakenings, and so much is going on, and I've had those aha moments. And if you know what an aha moment is, it's that moment where you can look back at your life. I mean, there's lots of people have different definitions for aha moments, but my definition of an aha moment, this is going to be a really long video, is when you look back at your life and you see how everything connected, and why it happened. Because sometimes things happen and you're like, why is this happening? And then all of a sudden you have that moment and you see how it was so perfectly designed. It was so beautifully created that this led to this, which meant that this was supposed to happen so you could meet this person, so that this could happen, so that you can have this awakening, so that you can be reminded and you learn that you're not going to deal with this. And then it's just a huge, beautiful mess, which is my favorite phrase. And you get it. You understand why everything happened exactly the way that it happened. And when you get those aha moments, it starts to rebuild your faith in the universe, and it starts to teach you that you should never be sad, and you really shouldn't be angry, because everything is happening for a reason, and everything does have its purpose, and everything does have its timeline, and you just have to be patient sometimes, because there is a divine plan. There really is. And my aha moment was yesterday and this morning, but it was a culmination of everything that's happened in the last 3 to 5 years. And it was just me learning that, not learning, but me remembering that I shouldn't put up with people who don't treat me the way I deserve to be treated. And that's a really tricky phrase, because some people are like, I deserve this and I deserve that. And I'm not talking about there's physical things that you deserve as a human, but I'm talking about just the basic courtesy, respect, reliability, dependability. The fact that somebody who says they're going to do something, they actually follow through and they're there for you. When I was younger, I used to cut guys off like that. They would do one thing and I'd be like, no, I'm done. And everyone was like, you're too hard on them. You're too picky. I wasn't. I knew I was more enlightened then. I have more knowledge now, but I was more enlightened then, meaning I came here as an old soul. I came here knowing things that most people take a lifetime to learn. I came here understanding a lot more than people that are older than me. I just knew things. I always understood. I can kind of predict what's going to happen to people, predict what they're going to do. I know when somebody's lying to me all the time. Since I was a kid, I just had these, I'm not psychic. Okay. There's a difference. I'm knowing. I just know things. I'm enlightened. I'm connected to the universe. I'm grounded. I came here grounded. I came here awake and aware. And I observed and I saw things and I understood more and I made connections better. And, math is very important to understand this. Like everything is mathematical. There are equations. There are the way things work, and math and physics and all that. If you have a basic understanding of that, you kind of understand this. But I knew that before I even learned math. So I always knew to be good and kind and sweet. I was like that innocent kid that's just always happy, and I trust everybody, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this and blah blah blah. And oh my God, I'm really happy that I met you. And as I got older, I realized that there are some people that are cynical, malicious, and I hate like if you're like me and you grew up only around good people, God bless you. Stay around those people. As soon as you meet these bad people, run, walk away. Like be nice, but just stop talking to them. Because what happens is that when I was younger, I used to meet guys and they would do something like this guy yesterday, where we had plans and then he doesn't even call me the whole day. I'm not dealing with that. You know what I mean? And this was somebody that I was not interested in. I was trying to get to know because I was like, Amira, everybody's right. Maybe you should give guys a shot. Maybe this and that. And they were perfect gentlemen when we first met. But I brought me flowers to my door. Opened the car door for me, closed the car door for me. We sat there, we talked for hours, very gentlemanlike, walked on the right side of the street. Just everything was really nice. But I also learned something a long time ago that somebody said, if somebody gives you everything, it's too perfect to be true. It's because they're giving you all they got because they don't plan on sticking around. And that's true. Because when you get me, you get all of this mess. It's a beautiful mess, and it's the best thing that probably ever happened to you in your life. But I'm nice, I'm sweet, I'm kind, I'm polite, but I don't let you step all over me. And sometimes I do come out looking like this because I'm like, if you're going to love me, you're going to love the whole package, and I can't be beautiful all the time. Like if you look at my other videos, I'm stunningly beautiful. Like I'm a really pretty girl. I wouldn't say beautiful, I would say pretty, but I am beautiful on the inside, But I'm a very attractive woman. And like, I'm in my pajamas, so sorry. And I can do that and be that every day, but I want to see if somebody's going to stick around like this. Like I want someone to love me when I'm this big, because mind you, I'm like 80 pounds bigger than I normally am. And you could just imagine if I'm 80 pounds bigger, how skinny I could be, right? And then because they love me, I can go back to that, because a lot of this was pounds of pain that are starting to like go away and disappear, because I'm starting to face all of my demons and like all of the things that have happened to me that I have like tucked away because I didn't want to talk about them, or I thought it was over, but it wasn't, because I didn't deal with the emotion or the feeling. And I realized that like when I was that girl and somebody did something and I was like, I'm done, bye. People were like, that's really, no, it's because I knew then that was the beginning. that was like, oh, this is just the beginning. This person's going to do more stuff. And I just really don't have time for that. I'm like just a good person. I just want to find somebody to hang out with. I could deal with people's crazy, but I know when and who's crazy to deal with, because there's like different degrees and levels of crazy, and I can't teach you that because everybody's upbringing is different and you're able to tolerate different things. Like my upbringing, I had certain people that prepared me to deal with other people that I've met in my future because I grew up with these people in my past, if that makes any sense. So we're all different. I cannot tell you, share, or explain how that's going to work. But there is a reason that those people were in your life. There is a reason that those people raised you. There is a reason that you experience everything you experienced as a child. Because in the circle of life, everything repeats itself. You're going to deal with those same people later on. And when you deal with those same people later on, you're going to know how to deal with them. And you're going to understand exactly what to do and what to say. Because you've already dealt with that in your past. Does that make sense? So this epiphany aha moment was just saying like, there is nothing wrong with that. For the last 4 years, and it was all because my mother said, you have to give people a shot. You have to, deal with it. And, if you want to be with somebody, you have to be tolerable, and I'm sure she didn't expect me to be tolerable of all the crap I've been going through for the last 4 years. But I thought, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should be, more patient and tolerable. Maybe that's why I'm not married, or I'm not with somebody, or, I have to no. Because the people that have walked into my life the last 4 years are really fucked up. Sorry for anybody that gets offended by that. And I shouldn't have to deal with it. Nobody should have to deal with it. I need to deal with people that are like me, that are on my level. We're all on different levels. We're all vibrating on different levels. We've all had different life experiences. You know, we all have the same truth of like, treat people the way you want to be treated, be kind, be good. Some people are more cynical. They sit there and they're like, but why did you do that? But why? But why? But don't you think that's weird? Okay, that kind of person I need to stay away from, because you're fucking out of your mind. You think too much and you don't trust people and you're maniacal and you have malice in your heart even though you say you don't, because you shouldn't be thinking that way about people, because I think people are innately good and they have bad moments. And this person has a way of turning everything beautiful into something ugly. And I'm the opposite. I turn something ugly into something beautiful. And it's so funny because my friend was like, you're the only person I know that can make anything work. Like, I can fix anything. And she's like, you can take a pile of shit and sell it and make it amazing. I was like, no, but there's just so much you can do. That's manure. You can put it on plants, it'll grow. I was like, in Africa, they actually take manure and they like turn it into like, they use it in between rocks to create like housing. And then when it dries up, like it's stinky in the beginning, but then the stink starts to fade. But maybe it doesn't fade because maybe you just get used to it, because that's just like what the human body does in order to cope. And I was like, but there's so many things that you could do with manure. And she was like, do you see what I mean? And I started laughing because I'm like, okay, yeah, she's right. You know, like I could, like who does that? You know, like you could take a piece of shit and I was like, but it's not a piece of shit. Like you could do so much with it, you know? Like, it's like, and I thank my mother for that, for the education, for the books, for the access to the information, for investing in me. And I encourage and implore that all of you invest in your family, invest in your nephews and nieces, in your kids, in yourself, invest in your knowledge, because the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And making sure that you are constantly putting good things in. I remember I was in Amway, and I love Amway, and I don't know about all of Amway all over the world, but I know the Papalardo team in New York, best team on the planet, hands down. Not only do they care about making, you know, teaching you about business, they make you a better human being. Like I swear, if everybody can get in on this, if everybody can have access to this information, if everybody can have access to the kindness, the goodness, the sweetness, the most amazing people I have ever met in my life, and I'm coming back to the team at some point, but it's true. They told me two things. The first thing I was going to say is they said that, oh, I forgot. Aside from making the investment in your mind, do the right thing, no matter how hard it is. Like people are more important than money. Money is not more important than people. So if you have to take a hit for someone, but you did the right thing, that's the best thing. And that's what I've been doing for the 4 years. Trust me, I've been taking financial hits for all of these people that have been coming into my life, talking about, I'm hungry, I don't know what to do, I need a place to, like, all of this stuff. I've been taking financial hit after financial hit because it was the right thing to do. I don't regret it, and I'm grateful for it, but I'm not doing it again for anybody else. And then it brought me back to where I was, which was the epiphany that said, like you are on a journey. I've known this since I was 3. Okay, you're on a journey, and there's a lot of things that are going to happen around you that you have no control over. The only thing you have control over is yourself. And you want to constantly be full of love, light, joy, happiness, caring, understanding, empathy, and peace. And when you do that, when you give nothing but love and nurturing and affection to all that you come across, you will have this like blessing, you know. And I didn't do it for the blessing. I did it just because I'm a good person. But I realize now that the reason I have been blessed, and the reason I have amazing karma, and the reason opportunities always open up for me, and the reason I win things all the time is because I'm such a good person. I can't even explain it. It's the one thing that everybody says, you're so sweet, you're so kind, you're like an angel. I've never met anybody like you. I've never met anybody like me, except for the people in Amway. They're like the closest thing to me I've ever found. And it's interesting because when I joined it, they were like, you know, I was wondering where all the people who thought like me, who felt like me, were they? You know, and then I walked into this room and I'm like, they're all here. And that's exactly how I felt when I joined. Now, mind you, I was approached with it and I never got into it, but the team that I got into was the team that I was meant to get into because they were like me. Everybody's different. It's like the NBA, they're all different basketball teams. Some win championships some years, some don't, some are better than others, but they're all in the NBA and they're all playing the same game. It's the same thing with Amway. There's lots of teams in Amway and they all do things differently, but you may not relate or assimilate or understand, or like, you know, like it's not the team that you're supposed to be on. And I was approached 5 times before I got in, and the reason I got in was divine intervention. And I think I made a video about that a long time ago, but if not, I'll make a video again about why and how I got into Amway and what it means to me. I'm still in it. I haven't been active in like 3 years, but I'm going to be active now because I'm back where I needed to be. And that was the second thing I wanted to tell you. The person that trained me told me that the people that are in Amway are meant to be in Amway because they're meant to be in it. You know, like you can't be on this team or you can't be around us if you're not a good person and if you're not on the same level. And I was there with them, like on the same level. And then I started meeting, and that's when I started meeting them. It's literally like 4 to 6 months after I got into Amway, I started meeting these people. It started with Phil, but I don't want to go into any of that. And it was like downhill. I was here and I was hanging out with people that were here. That's not a bad thing. We're all like, they were here in other things and I was here in other things, you know? So we're here and there on different things, but on the vibrational level and what you're willing to do and the effort you're willing to put forward for another human being and the kindness and the love and the empathy that you have in your heart and the willingness to care for another human being just because they exist and they are a human being, we were on different levels. You know, they were very selfish and I was very giving and kind, and they looked at that as an opportunity to get what they could from me because they were like, wow, this person's really good and they're very generous and they're very kind. Like, and they would take, and there was no reciprocation whatsoever, like none, maybe like a little bit. And that's another important lesson is it's okay to give. I did that with the kindness of my heart. I walk away from that whole experience thinking like, wow, that made me feel like a better person. You know what I mean? But like I'm just aware that I need to be around more people like me, people that are generous, that are kind, that are giving, that are sweet, that are loving, that just do the right thing because it's the right thing. They don't do it because there's any expectations. It's like, okay, this is right and this is wrong. And I know there's no black and white and there's lots of shades of gray. And I never say that anything is finite because as you learn, you start to change your thoughts and your beliefs, and then what was right becomes wrong and what was wrong becomes right. You know, so it just depends on where you are in the phase of life. But generally, in this time, because what's right and wrong in this time is very different from like the 1800s or the 1700s or the Egyptian times. Everything's different. That's why Muslims are very, very strict because they follow the old ways, and the Western people are more lax because they follow the new ways, but they're both right and wrong in their own way because it's depending on the community that you live in and the belief of that community. Does that make sense? Right? So in this situation, and the same thing with the Hebrews and the Jews, the Israelis, same thing with the Catholics, the Christians. Like, we all have different beliefs based on what we were taught, how we were brought up, what our community is like. Certain things are acceptable and unacceptable in certain communities, and then they're not in others. And the thing, sorry, my nose is itching. My nose is running because I was crying. The reason that there's so much discord right now is because you have all these people from all these different cultures mixing in together, trying to create peace when we all have different beliefs, right? So in Amway, they were saying that you can't stay on this team if you're not a good person, or if you're not doing the right thing, or if things aren't going well, or, you know, like you are only meant to be on this team if you're like the cream of the crop, the best of the best in your heart. Right? And I was. And then I started hanging around these people, and they kept hurting me and hurting me and hurting me and hurting me. And I stayed. And when normally I would have been like, I'm sorry, but I can't hang out with you anymore because you don't treat me the way that anybody deserves to be treated. And and I understood that was their journey and their love. And I wouldn't say that. I would just stop talking to them and hanging out with them, right? And then they would pop up again later on, and hopefully if they were evolved or they got to the next level or they were awakened or enlightened, then maybe we can hang out, you know? But until that point, I can't do that for you. I can't do that for anybody. I don't want to do that for anybody. It's just way too much work and too much energy. That's the universe's job. Let them do that. I'm just here to share the information and the knowledge that I get, and to hopefully bring some clarity to some people, or say something that might change their lives, or, you know, just ramble and then have somebody be like, oh my God, she's a mess. Do I look like that? Let me fix myself up, right? Because I do look like a mess right now. I should fix that. But so that was like the clarity that I was dealing with, right? And now I'm ready to go back, because I wasn't ready to go back because I was hanging around. Oh my God. They're not terrible people. They just, see, this is because I shaved my head. It's because that was part of my journey, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm thankful that they came into my life, and I'm thankful for everything that I experienced, because it brought me back to where I needed to be to move forward. I needed to experience that, to realize that I never want to go through that again, to recognize those people when they come into my life again, to know when to walk away, to know when to, keep it moving, to know how much to give and when not to give. I mean, but I'm just a very giving person, so it's very hard for me to say no, because I have been so blessed. Like, I'm really lucky. I really am. Like, I can't explain it. There's no amount of time that will explain it, but whether it was the family that I was brought up in, the friends, and the guidance that has been given to me throughout the entire existence of my life, down to the blessings from God. Like, if I say that I need something, I may not have people in my life the last 4 years that could give me what I needed or what I wanted, but God gave it to me. If I needed a juicer and I was like, I want a juicer, I want to, have a healthier living and move forward, within 24 to 48 hours, someone gave me a juicer. Or I had a client that was donating it or giving it away, and they were like, you can have it. Anything that I needed. And I was like, God, I didn't even ask God. I was like, wow, it would be really nice to have this. Within 24 to 48 hours, I manifested it. And it wasn't me, it was him. It was him saying, you're really good, and there's nobody in your life that's going to do this for you, so I'm going to do it for you. And then he would like move things around so that I can have what I needed. Even my car should have died last year, but it's kicking and it's still there and it's taking care of me. So I'm like, thank you. But I also look at everything like a blessing. Everything. My friend makes fun of me all the time. She's like, you could have crumbs and you're starving, and you'll be like, but I'm so grateful because I have crumbs. I have something, and I'm like, all right. I was laughing because I'm like, she's right. I find the blessing and the joy and everything, like in everything. If something breaks, I'm like, oh, maybe I wasn't meant to have it, or, maybe there was like some bacteria on it, and if I had drank out of that glass, then I would get sick, or so we'll just throw the glass out and we'll get another glass, not a big deal, Sometimes before I used to get really angry, but the reason I got angry is because I wasn't happy, and that's another lesson. When you're not happy, you tend to take things out on everything and everybody. And that's fine because it's a part of life. And trust me, I've had people in my life that weren't happy that took it out on me, and I just took it in, and I was like, okay, I understand what you're going through. I will take it because I understand that you are going through something, and I will be there for you, because that is what Thich Nhat Hanh and Buddhism teaches us, is you should be there for people. And when I say that I'm here for you, I don't say that to everybody. I've only really honestly said it to one man. When I say, honestly, when I say that I'm here for you, I'm here for you. Regardless of what is going on in life, I am that person that every single person in my life goes to in a time of crisis. And I don't know why. Because I'm like, okay, I'm single. I don't have kids. I'm not married. Why are you coming to me for relationship advice? But apparently it seems to people that I'm very grounded and stable because I've been in the same place for 11 years. I can survive. I travel. I've been to 24 countries. I try to go to 2 to 3 countries a year. And I know, like, I'm really honestly broke and struggling and trying to figure it out. But obviously I'm not broke and struggling because I can afford to go on these trips and I can afford to do these things. But I really can't. I just like would rather do that than go to the bar and drink. I would rather do that than order food out. I would rather do that than buy those clothes because I have a closet full of clothes because I'm blessed. And because I take care of my things, that they last such a long time. I've found other ways to survive in ways that people wouldn't even think about, which is another video I'm going to make, about like Craigslist free and like, helping people and, using secondhand stuff in the meantime until you can move forward. I'm okay with that. But the one thing I've learned, and I'm learning, and it's something I'm sharing with you, it's very important for you to have new things, your things, with your energy, not other people's energy. If you're struggling and you need secondhand stuff, that's awesome. Secondhand stuff is awesome. I love secondhand furniture, but it also has other people's energy. So you have to be very careful about like what you bring into your home. And there's ways to like clean it and cleanse it and pray to God, and like so that energy is removed and you can like move forward with the new stuff. But it's very important to do that. But I mean, I never really had to do that because I just figured if God gave it to me, it should be blessed and it should be good. And everybody always asks me, like, how do you know there's no bed bugs? And how do you know that it's good? And I'm like, I just have faith. I have a tremendous faith. Everything in my life has to do with the universe and God and blessings and believing that I'm blessed. I believe that I'm blessed. I believe that I was blessed since I was 12 or 13. I don't know why. And I think it's because I saw at that time that I always had more than most people. And I've always had people in my life. And I didn't realize now until I got older how hard my mom had to work to give me what she gave me. And as a kid, I didn't really understand that because you just think it's normal. But then when you see how other people live, you start to appreciate your parents and realize that they really worked their ass off to give you whatever they could. And if you're sitting there and you're suffering and you're thinking, yeah, well, my parents didn't do much. They did. But that was the best that they could do. So hopefully you can figure out how to be successful and how to make it happen so you can give your parents everything that they wanted to give you. You can finally give to them. And they can see you being happy because you chose success. You chose to enlighten your mind. You got certifications in education. You started making money. You started taking risks and making moves. You started being confident because you got better. Everyone else around you gets better. Everyone. When you get better, people are watching you. And when you get better, they get better. Because you inspire them by investing in yourself. You inspire them by improving yourself. But you cannot do that for anyone. And I testify to that because for the last 2 years, I tried my best to help someone who did not want to help. They asked for help. I tried to give them help. I was there in front of their face trying to help them, giving them jobs, giving them opportunities, sitting in front of the computer with them, going over things, saying like, yeah, send me the files. I'll go over it. They never sent me the files. You know what I mean? Like I tried so hard. I invested more in that person than I invested in myself. And that was part of the aha moment. Is it's okay to do that at certain times. I wish I had tissues right now because my nose is going to town. Sorry guys, it's disgusting, but it's life, right? I had tissues, I don't know where they are. I know I always cry because I'm so emotional and I just can't. And so I tried to help somebody, and all that time that I invested in them, which I don't regret. I never regret anything. All that time that I invested in that person, I should have been investing in myself, because if I made myself better, then that person would have been better through seeing what I was doing and learning through that. And that's where I messed up, and that's where I want everybody to know, like, it's okay to help people, but don't help people to the point where it stops helping you. Always work on yourself, because when you work on yourself, you're helping them. They're seeing you. You are inspired by it. It's like a child. When they see that their parents don't give up and they have that perseverance and they're always trying, and, you know, the kid will then have that work ethic. And that's why I have it, because I saw my mom work so hard. My mom worked so hard to make sure that me, my brother, my sister had everything that any human being could want and more. Whether it's experiences, information, knowledge, you know, like moments, memories, you know, everything she did was to make memories and to teach us love and what family was, and how to treat people. And she's a Sagittarius. They're all about memories and moments and love, but they're fucking crazy. Sorry, but they are. But it's okay, because if you love them, then you love all of it. It's a package deal. But they are erratic. But it's worth it. You know, no one's perfect, but they're worth it, you know? But they're all about memories and creating like laughter and joy and familial moments. And I got lucky, and it's not a mistake. You know, sometimes they say, I remember learning that you choose your parents before you come here, because you're going to teach you what you need to know, and that you guys have made like these soul contracts before you get here. And the pain that you go through is the pain that you need to go through so that you can become enlightened in whatever it was that you were lacking in your last life, or, you know, in this time, or I don't know. I'm learning a lot of different things, and I share them with you. And as I learn them, I share them with you at that moment. But then I learn more information, and then it might change what I said originally. And it's not that I'm a hypocrite. It's just that I got more information. And when you get new information, you make better decisions. Like Trump, everybody voted for Trump because he said all this shit. And then later on, you find out that they were all lies. So now you have a different view of Trump than you did before you voted for him, which I didn't, because I was all about Hillary, and y'all know that. Because I could see through the crap and the bullshit and the energy, and I was like, this is not a good man. Like, I don't understand how anybody's voting for him. He's not even telling the truth. Like, he's just not a good man, but whatever. Well, maybe he is a good man in his own right. Let me not say that. Maybe he is a good man in his own right, but not as the president of the United States of America. And that's a whole white supremacist, David Duke, like, plan to do. I don't even want to talk about it, but so disgusted by this. But anyway, focus. To get back to what we were talking about, which I don't remember, so I'm gonna change the subject. I made my own deodorant. So let's get to the holistic stuff. Oh, it was about family and blessings and understanding what you have, and just being aware. And I think it is a gift. I guess it is a gift. That's what people say. I don't know. That you can turn something ugly into something beautiful. Like, I can turn everything into something beautiful. Like, you broke your leg. Well, maybe, you needed to meet the doctor that's going to fix your leg, or he's going to introduce you to somebody, or the nurse, or the person, and this and that, and that's going to lead to something else. And then at the end, you're going to look back and you're going to realize why you broke your leg. And everyone's like, bitch, I just broke my leg. And I'm like, no, there's something bigger. Just wait, And I always tell people, I told my friend TK, and it's so true, and that's what I had to do, and I didn't listen to my own advice, is be still, wait, be patient. The universe always reveals the truth, and it always does. If you are patient and you are kind, which goes back to the beginning, and then I'll show you about deodorant, then the universe will reveal the truth to you. It always does. It always reveals the truth to you. It always shows you somebody's true intentions. It always shows you why something happened. It'll always reveal the truth to you. The universe will never leave you in the dark, and the universe will never lie to you. Whether or not you choose to believe the truth and the information, that's another thing. But if you are patient enough, the universe will always show you the truth. And I'm a truth seeker since a very young age. It's what I care about. I don't care how much it hurts, but if I know the truth, I can cope with it and move on. I don't like to live in lies and deceit and people taping phone calls thinking that I don't know when I'm calling them from the Kalahari and saying that I chose this person over that person. Meanwhile, I know that you're both taping phone calls. I know that you're both putting me on speakerphone. Everything that I've ever said to either one of you, L and J, I said because I always thought that you were going to tell the other person anyway. I never once believed anything that came out of your mouth about each other. And anything that I said about any of you guys was because in my heart, I always knew the truth. And the universe has just revealed the truth to me. It's very interesting. So it's important for you to know the truth and to learn it and to accept it. And that's what my aha moment was. Last night, my best friend in Cali called me after not talking for a while, and it's exactly what I needed, because I was going through like this little mini sad state, because I was like, why is this all happening, blah blah blah. It's not lack of faith, it's just being human. But I have faith, and I'm like, it'll all come to fruition. So then he called me. We talked on the phone for 3.5 hours, and that's how you know that they're your best friend, because you can talk to them for hours and hours and hours, and it feels like you guys there's been no gap, no lapse in the friendship or whatever. And we talked about everything, and they were like, I was thinking about you all week, and I can't stop thinking about you. I don't know why. I put together this little box that I'm sending you because, like everything I saw made me think of you, so I bought it, and I was like, oh my God, that's a good friend, because I don't have many people in my life that give to me. My mother was the best provider on the world. I didn't need anything from anybody else. But then when she was unable to provide because she got older and needed to take care of herself, and I should be taking care of her, which I am starting to, then it's called karma, and you have to give what you receive, you know, um, then when somebody does something like that, it like really touches my soul, because it's like, you thought of me and you actually took time, effort, and money and spent it on me. And the sad thing is that I always had that. I was always surrounded by people that were always giving me things because they always thought of me. And that is why I always do that for everyone in my life. And they're not used to it. And they're like, why are you doing all this? And I'm like, because it's what I know. And that's when I realized that I need to walk away from people that are not like that. You know, I can bless them here and there, but I can't have them in my life 24/7 until they become that person, because it's what I deserve. And then I was just hanging out with one of my old friends from back in the day. And when she saw me, she had a gift for me. You know, and I was like, oh, you know, and that's who I am. Whenever I see my old friends, I always have something for them. Always. I never come empty-handed, you know, and it's because it's how I was raised. But it wasn't because I give them a gift because you're supposed to give them a gift. I give them a gift because I had thought of them. I bought it for them. And now I'm actually seeing them. So I'm like, oh, hey, I got this for you. I thought of you. And that is love. And that is what I know is love. And it's not the gift giving, because if you read Gary Chapman's The 5 Love Languages, you're going to understand there's different ways of loving, but it's kind of like, it's just what I'm used to. It's kind of like, oh, I got I got dinner this time. And then the next time my friend has dinner. It's not like I have dinner every single time. When are you going to pay for something? And then you get angry because the person's not reciprocating. You know, unless you're like really super rich. And then that makes sense because you just have so much money that it's like, whoa. But I'm not really super rich. I'm just better off than they are, which is different. So I'm like, I started to realize that, you know what? I need to cleanse my soul, I guess, and start finding and hanging out with the good people again, because I have literally just taken everybody out of my life. And I think it was a cleansing of some sort. And now I'm like looking for my 90210 kind of friends that like you hang out all the time. It's like everybody comes over here, we watch movies, we go over there. Like it's just a group of people that you can depend on, rely on, hang out with. Every week, you know, you're hanging out. If one of you gets invited, you all get invited. You know what I mean? Like it's just that group of friends, you know, and it's probably something I should have cultivated when I was younger, but we all grew up and we went into different paths. But the interesting thing is that every single person that I've met since grammar school, I still keep in touch with and hang out with every now and then. Because when people are in your life, they're part of your life eternally. You know, whether it's at the high school reunion, or whether it's via Facebook, or whether we just meet once every 3 years for dinner and we talk once a year, I keep in touch with that, like a lot of people. And there's certain people that there's gaps, you know, but then you come back and then that's friendship. So when you're truly friends with someone, you don't lose that. And if somebody tells you that they can't talk to you because you're going through a different phase in your life, that's not friendship, because friends don't do that. Friends will pick up the phone no matter what. And friends will always be there for you no matter what they're going through. Because I go through some stuff and you can call me and I'll be like, oh, God. Hey, how are you? Because I know that you're calling me for a reason. And I respect the fact that you thought of calling me for I don't know what reason, because I don't know why you call me. But until I pick up the phone, I won't know. But there's a reason that you're calling me. So I pick up the phone because I understand. And if I can't pick up the phone, it's probably because I have a drill in one hand. I'm holding something up, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to like, you know, I physically cannot pick up the phone. I will call you when I can because I'm on a job or I'm doing something or I'm sleeping. I have my phone on airplane mode, which I do a lot lately, just because I need to be at peace, because if I'm meditating and my phone is ringing or vibrating, I can't do this. So that's really, really important. And those are the things that I wanted to share with you overall is the epiphany that I had is I was always respectful. Even though some of the things I said are kind of rude, but it's part of my journey. Forgive me. Sorry. I was always kind, sweet, and respectful. And I realized that every time I bumped into an ex-boyfriend, they were happy. Like they had just seen an angel. Like, oh my God, Myra. Like they never thought they were going to, how are you? Oh my God, it's been so long. Wow, you look good. Blah, blah. And I think all the memories of all the joy that I brought them, because I bring joy to everybody. Nobody ever forgets me. Like if you ever met me, you will never forget me. Trust me. Either it's something I said, something I did, my reactions, the way that I was, the energy you felt. It's always something, right? So, and then they were so happy to see me. And I'm it's kind of sad to think that maybe they thought that this was like a second chance, or you know, like I came into their life for a reason. This wasn't a chance coincidence, but I didn't look at it like that. I just looked at it like, wow, that's weird. I just bumped into you, like, you know? And these were men that I was truly like, I cared for, that for whatever reason they ended the relationship, or I ended it because I looked at it like, I don't like the way that you're treating me. And they were treating me bad because they were probably messing with somebody else, because that's what it was like back then. And some of them I just ended it because I just didn't like who they were, and I didn't want to be with them for a lifetime, because I think it's very important that you choose a partner you can be with for a lifetime, not just for like a month, unless it's part of your journey and you're meant to be with them because you're going to learn a lot in that month, you know. But I'm single because I understand love, life, and relationships. I myself am a very complex person. It's very hard for people that are very educated, smart, well-rounded, awake, aware, are healers, because it's a whole nother level. Have traveled, like, it's very hard for those people to find somebody to relate to. A lot of people end up settling and living a good life, but and not that I don't want to settle, but like I just know that I'm not happy with certain people, and I'd rather be alone than be with that person and lie to them, and like, not lie, but not be fair to them, because we're not in sync, you know. I only met one person in the entire existence of my life that I was in sync with, and it was only for 2 months, and then they just flipped out and got crazy on me. I don't know what the fuck happened. And then they came back and they were a different person, and I don't know. I mean, I still think that I could tolerate or deal with it if there was communication, but there wasn't communication. There was just no communication. So that's the only person I ever connected with on that level, because I believed they were well-rounded. So I'm just confused now, because the whole truth hasn't been revealed to me yet. But I'm not sure if that person was genuine with me, or if they were faking it and acting and just like mirroring me, because some people mirror you because you love yourself, right? Most people love. So when you meet somebody that's just like you, people say no, they're attracted to their opposite. Not really. They might be attracted to their opposite, but they really love themselves. If you love yourself, then you're going to love yourself. I love myself. So because I love myself so much, I want to be with someone like me, but different, so I can learn from them, because I'm a truth seeker and a knowledge seeker. But it like similar in the sense that we can have a discussion about our differences, respect that and move forward and acknowledge those differences, and whether or not we agree with them, we respect each other. A lot of people aren't like that. They're stubborn, they're stuck, they're angry, they don't understand why you will not succumb to their ways, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I don't have time for all of that. I'm evolved and I'm at a different level in my life right now. I'm into peace and quiet and serenity in my home, but going out and having fun and being loud and crazy when you're not home. But it would be nice to have people come over, and, you know, so this is the point of life that I'm at, just in case you ever meet anybody like me, you'll understand. And also, the people that look like they're the strongest, the people that have it together, they're the ones that need the most hugs. So if you meet someone and you're like, you're so strong and you don't need me, and you've been single your whole life, especially if they've been single for a while, just hug them. Hug them and hold on for a while, even if they cry, because the people that seem like they're the strongest are the ones that need the most help. And they're the ones that need the most love. So whether you're married or you have kids or whatever, if you meet a friend and they're single and they look like they have it all together, just give them a hug and let them know that this is just a hug, because you seem like you have it all together, but maybe you just needed a hug. They'll get it. You know, they might think it's weird or be like, whatever, but then nobody really rejects love unless they're a complete and total asshole. But we're not going to go into that. And then the other thing also is, and they're the ones that need the most help. So those are the ones that, like, you want to invite out to spend time with. Those are the ones that you want to treat and take care of. The reason they have it together is because they don't have anyone else to help them. And if they don't do it for themselves, nobody's going to do it for them. And then they're probably going to be homeless on the street. And nobody wants that, right? So they do everything because they don't have anyone to help them. And then when they ask people for help, some people will be like, yeah, I'll help you. And then when it's time to help them, they don't show up, they don't call, they're not there. They're like, oh, ask somebody else, which is really messed up, because I didn't ask somebody else, I asked you. And you said yes. So now I'm relying on you and I'm depending on you. And then that person cancels. And you should talk to people that have it all together and see how often that happens. So try to be there for those people, because I'm sure that those people are there for you. deodorant. Really quickly, it's a long video. I don't know if they're going to post it, but so I was trying to figure out how to make homeopathic deodorant. It's basically bentonite clay, like maybe 2 or 3 parts bentonite clay, and then like 7 or 8 parts baking powder. Mix it all together, put a lot of essential oils in there. You have to put like tea tree and some other things in there, because that's what kills the bacteria, because they're antimicrobial. And you put a lot, and if you put a lot and you mix it with the powder, then you have to sift it through the sifter, you know, because then the powder absorbs the oil and it becomes like oil powder, and then you can do that. But what I did is, you know those people that are on the street and they're selling like the oils, the scented oils, you know, like Lang Lang and, you know, like Sex on the Beach and all those weird oils that they sell, patchouli. I mixed it in with that a lot, and I created this like not rocky, but it's like, it looks like cookie dough kind of like texture. And then I take that and I just take a little bit, like that much. It's just a little bit. And then you go like this in your hands, and then you just put it under your arms. That's it. I probably do it twice maybe, and then I'll carry a little tiny bit in a container in case I need to freshen up. And I was one of those people that like, I need degree deodorant. Like nothing works on me. Mitchum, none of that, nothing ever worked on me but degree, because it's heat activated, so that when you're sweat and you're hot, then it comes out. But then there's always like that possibility that it doesn't work. And lately it hasn't been working. So I was like, okay, I need to find something that's going to work. So then I got some gift certificates for Lush, and I ordered their deodorants, and then I looked at their ingredients, and I'm like, these really aren't that natural. So then I took out only the natural ingredients, and I created my own deodorant, which is 4 ingredients. It's bentonite clay, which I had a lot of, and there's only one person in the world I've ever given the clay to. Same person that I love more than anything in the world, even though sometimes I say things that are hurtful. But that's because it's the only way I can communicate, because you're not willing to sit down and communicate with me, so I'm just going to say it when I can. And this bentonite clay, you mix this with the baking soda, but I think that even if you don't have this and you just use the baking powder, not soda, sorry. You just use the baking powder, essential oils, and whatever scent, because when I sweat now, or when it's hot, I smell just that scent, the oil. So it's awesome, is you can smell like whatever you want. You can smell like strawberries and peaches and this and that, and your favorite perfume if you can order that oil. So I think it's a really great alternative. It's been really hot in New York lately. It's like gross and sweaty. I haven't been sweating as much because I think the baking soda absorbs that and it like stops it. But it's really good because deodorant has like aluminum, which causes Alzheimer's. It has parabens, which cause cancer, and a bunch of other stuff, which causes stuff which none of us want, right? So I'm like, I have to find another way, because I have to use deodorant. Like, I can't not use deodorant. And then everything that everybody's been recommending, these like rocks and this and that, natural deodorant, is disgusting. And then I remember this girl was talking about Tom's deodorant, and she's like, it just smells like BO on top of like the scent, the patchouli, like hippie scent that is in the deodorant. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make my own, because I don't feel like anybody is doing it properly. So then I was like, I'm going to start making my own deodorant and selling it on Etsy. So that's a possibility. So if I do, I'm going to let you guys know, and then you guys can buy my deodorant. But I'm really all into like trying to switch to homeopathic ways of doing things, but making sure that they're effective, efficient, they work, because as you can tell, the nerd inside of me and the overachiever and the, you know, like just the person that I am won't let me do anything half-ass. So I'm at the point in my life, another epiphany aha moment, where I'm finishing everything that I started. So I like, for the last 3 days, have been spending every moment of every day working on my website, creating logos, creating like all these different things, building these websites, signing on to affiliate programs, so that I can put that information onto the website, so that I can create some type of passive income if anybody clicks on it. And I'm talking really fast because I really don't want to give this information out, because this is the information that I charge for. So hopefully you guys will understand what I'm saying and then get whatever you need to get from it. But definitely, you know, like if you want to start a business, I'm going to give you a lot of information. This is what I charge $175 for the first hour for. So get excited. That's why I waited till the end of the video, because if you're watching it, you're the only person that deserves to like get that information. Is you find a domain name, you buy it. I'm actually getting my own hosting service, so you guys will be able to buy it from me if you want to. And don't worry, it's serviced by GoDaddy, but it's going to be under my name, so that at least I can get some credit, because I'm giving you guys this stuff for free, so I might as well make some money off of it. So hopefully you'll help me. And then if you get a lot of information from me and you start making a lot of money, do me a favor, buy my freaking programs. donate, help a sister out, because you got the information from me, and like, you may think that I'm good and everything's going well, but clearly it's not, and I'm telling you because I'm not okay. I have a lot of debt and I could use anything. Like, every penny counts. So when you start making money and you start doing well, because I have a habit of being able to bless people and they do very, very well, but I can't bless myself, which is kind of like Salma Hayek in the movie Dogma, where she like inspires people as a muse, and then as soon as she becomes a human, she can't do anything for herself. But anyway, so basically what you need to do is find a domain name, buy it, make sure that it's available on social media. It has to be less than 15 characters. You want to make sure that you can access it on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and then secure all of that stuff. Then you want to get hosting, because you want to be able to put the website up. I only recommend GoDaddy. I don't care what else is out there. I don't trust them, but I've been able to figure out a way that I can have my own service, but it's through GoDaddy, so you guys can get it from me through them. And I actually offer prices cheaper than them, because I'm not trying to make a lot of money off of you. I'm just trying to make a little, but their margin of profit is larger than the margin that I'm charging. So you're getting the same service. It's so much worth it. Just get it from me. But I haven't done that yet. So when I do, I'll put the link underneath. Or you can contact me. And then basically, you get all that, you get your hosting, you start building your website. I learned how to build websites on WordPress. I mean, you can do anything. I don't really like Squarespace, because Squarespace owns the site, Wix owns the site. WordPress, you do everything by yourself, so you own the site and they can't take it, but you have to back it up, because if you don't, a lot of people they crash your WordPress site, which I think is stupid, but you have to back it up. So that's another thing. But I won't tell you any of it. I won't tell you any of this stuff, or how to build a website, or how to do anything. That's part of my program. Like, you have to pay for that. Like, I'm not going to go and give you everything, but I'm just giving you the basic ideas. You can self-train yourself. I think I take like 4 or 5 days where I spent like in front of the TV watching videos for like 12 to 15 hours a day to do this. And this is what I do. I self-teach myself, because sometimes you don't have anybody that will take the time out to teach you. I take the time out to teach everybody if they take the time out to learn, but you have to be able to learn on my schedule, because I also have to pay my bills and pay my rent. So if I'm working, I can't teach you. But if you communicate with me and you tell me like, hey, I have this time, let's meet up, I will take that time out for you. But then you can't cancel on me and be like, oh, something better came along, or I'm busy, or blah, 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 because I took that time out for you that I could have used to make money for me, right? So now I'm like, screw all that. I'm just going to make a program, and I'm going to charge people for it, and then they can access it. And if they're really serious, they can access it at their own time and do whatever they want. So now we're not conflicting, and we're not ruining our friendship. And now you guys have access to everything that I have access to, because I know a lot, because I spend a lot more time than everybody else learning. So after you secure your domain name and you have your website up, there are different companies that you can use to help you expand your brand. And again, that's something you're only going to get from my service, and you're only going to get from my links, because that's just how it works. But if you try to do it on your own, you can, but you're going to spend lots of hours on different sites trying to make it happen, when there are other ways that you can multiply your efforts. But that's just something entirely different. Access YouTube. Also make sure that you get the YouTube name with your domain name. So like I have, youtube.com/letmeschool you. I have twitter.com/letmeschool you. Or yeah, I think let me school you. I think I have that. Or no, it's let me school you _ because somebody had let me school you. I have instagram.com/letmeschool you. I have facebook.com/letmeschool you. Like, it's really important for you to get all of that, and it needs to match. But then there's other times that you can't, like with the intimacy school. I couldn't get the intimacy school on Twitter. So it's, twitter.com/intimacy school. But that makes sense, So it's like really, because there was just too many letters, because it has to be under 15 letters, which is why I told you that in the beginning. So it's very important for you to listen to everything that I tell you and write it down, because I'm trying to give you free information. I'm trying to help you guys. And that's something that I've been blessed, that people have helped me with my spirituality. They've helped me with me being a better person. But when it came to business, I learned that all by myself. So I've had a couple of mentors, but they only taught me what they could, which was like real estate and a couple of other things. Everything else I learned on my own, and it's hard. And I want to make it easier for you guys. So I'm going to go now, because I'm 37 and I'm so emotional. Like before, when I was in my 20s, I didn't cry. Well, I cried a little bit when I broke up with somebody that I really cared about. But like, I was like strong and firm. But then when you turn like 32, I think I was 32, things make you cry, and you're so full. And I know it's the estrogen, But like, Jesus Christ, it's frustrating. It's like, what? It's a turn off to me, and I'm a woman, you know? So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I'm going to list this video. Hopefully people watch it to the end to get the information. And I don't even want to watch it because I know it's probably set like crazy or whatever, but it's me. Okay, bye. Oh.